Hello everybody, Mr. Chingman here, of course. Today we're going to be talking about the 13 colonies. So what you should have in front of you, pull it up here, you should have this worksheet on the right here. That's yours. The one on the left is what you are going to complete your notes with. Today you're just completing the fill in the blank words. You don't have to worry about these questions quite yet. We'll do that in class together. Alright, so without any further ado, we are talking about the 13 colonies, how they're split up into the southern, middle, and New England colonies. So in the red here, this is the New England colonies. The orange, that's the middle colonies. And the green, lime green I guess, those are the southern colonies. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of those different groups. So follow along if you would. I put the highlighted, or the words that you need in red for your convenience. So we'll start with the New England colonies right up here. It's going to be at the top of your section right there. Alright, the New England colonies, they were founded for religious freedom. Okay, so religious groups to have freedom in the New World. That's kind of what mostly the 13 colonies is all about as a whole. The Pilgrims landed at Plymouth after signing the Mayflower Compact in 1620. The Mayflower Compact gave settlers the right to vote on important issues. It also established the idea that people had a voice in the government, which was not the case over in Britain. So people had a say now instead of being ruled by the king. With the help of Native Americans, they learned to plant corn, and they got along with them for a while. Also, a large migration of Puritans occurred during the 1630s. So religious groups were coming to the New England colonies, and pretty soon it's going to be a big conglomerate or a big mix of different religious groups. Alright, going down to the next section right here. Soon the colonies of New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts were founded by these religious groups. The New England colonies established democratic governments. Remember, people had a say in the government. They had town meetings and assemblies, and all male church members could vote. We're not quite to the point where women are going to vote yet. That's going to take a couple hundred years. They built an economy based on lumber, making ships, the northern woods, so they would use their natural resources around them, and they engaged in trade. They established schools so their children could learn to read the Bible, of course, and they learned religious content. New Englanders enjoyed their religious-based society, a thriving economy based on trade, and a democratic government. Okay, so people want to say in the government. Religious freedom and having a say in the government are two of the big reasons why people moved to the 13 colonies in the first place. So, New England colonies, religious freedom, and a big mix of different religious groups. Moving down the middle colonies, they had the greatest diversity of people and religions in British North America. So a bunch of different European groups moved here, including the Dutch, Swedes, and the English, of course. The Puritans, which is a religious group, also moved into the regions, while English Quakers, which is once again a religious group, settled in Pennsylvania. The Quakers promoted religious tolerance and good relations with the natives, and so the colony attracted many people. The middle colonies also had representative assemblies, allowing colonists to have a voice in government. The middle colonies, going down here, should be on this paragraph right here. They were founded for the purpose of profit. The region's economic prosperity rested on its harbors and fertile fields. So harbors being the ability to use the ocean, the water. It became known as the breadbasket of the colonies because of all the wheat and grain it provided to Britain and all the other colonies. The middle colonies included New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I'm going too quick, All you gotta do is pause the video. The Southern Colonies. They were founded as proprietary colonies, meaning that Britain founded these colonies because they wanted to make money off of them. English kings gave charters to the leaders of the southern colonies, expecting them to provide Britain with raw materials and gold. The first colony of Jamestown, which was the first permanent settlement in North America, British settlement, established the pattern of the South. They offered land through the headright system. What that means is that each person who paid for their trip to the Americas was given a plot of land. This led to people owning large amounts of land, and they created plantations throughout the South. They would grow tobacco, indigo, rice, on these plantations. And that's how our economy kind of got based on agriculture because of this headright system. Alright, moving on here. We're on this right here. At first, indentured servants. So that means they would work off their trip over to the Americas as a labor hand in the fields. They were used as a labor source, but that all changed when enslaved Africans took the trip over to the New World. Soon African slaves became a large percentage of the population in the South. Even though the colony had a representative assembly, the power was in the hands of the wealthy upper class landowners. That's a sign of things to come. That's going to be the case for the next couple hundred years. Virginia, Maryland, Carolina, which is only one colony right now, and Georgia made up this group. So the South is based on the headright system, plantations. The middle colonies, the breadbasket, they make all the food for the colonies. And alright, finally, last one here. Carolina. So there was no North Carolina and South Carolina. It was just the Carolina colony. Carolina was the perfect example of the southern colonies. It was created when King Charles II granted land to 8 of his friends. They were known as the Lord Proprietors. And he basically gave them the land because he owed them money. The Lords named the first settlement Charlestown, which we know as Charleston, in honor of their friend, King Charles. These men hoped to make a profit by selling land to settlers. To encourage people to come over to immigrate, the proprietors granted large plots of land to settlers through the headright system. Soon, large plantations started to pop up, and they sold cash crops like rice and indigo or tobacco. The proprietors asked John Locke to write the fundamental constitutions of Carolina. It established the idea of, shocker, religious freedom. Okay, that's kind of a trend here. The first settlers in Charlestown were Englishmen who emigrated from the British colony of Barbados, which is on my map right down here, kind of right above South America. They kind of showed them the slave system they used in Barbados, and slavery soon makes its way to the southern colonies, and it makes these plantation owners extremely wealthy. Even though all religions were welcome, the wealthy class landowners became the dominant group in the class system. Other settlers. Other settlers came from France, Germany, Scotland, and Ireland, among other places. Assured of religious freedom by the fundamental constitution, settlers came from diverse religious backgrounds, including French Huguenots, which is like Protestant, which is a religious group, and Jewish settlers. The colony's natural resources, including fertile soil,